lot of people just see a green tree. But to me, if you grew up with them, you know them and you can identify them straight away. You can distinguish the leaves and the bark. Because there's so many different types of Marley boomerangs, and so you've got to look for the suitable the root or the, depending on what you make, the natural bend. So yeah, no, that's important, is looking for that. You just can't go out and cut any piece. So it's important that you imprint it in your head that that's what's going to come out of that bit of timber. And because at the end of the day, for me to go and cut a good shaped root or a bend to make a yarrange, or a returning one, I've got to have the right shape for that. Because if I don't, you're not going to make a good returning boomerang. And so you've got to make sure that you can get the right thickness out of that root or the bend. If you don't have the right bend and the right aerodynamics on your boomerang, well then there's no way is it going to return to you. And at the end of the day, if you can do that, that's fulfilling and rewarding to me. So it's very important to know what you're looking for in the bush. All our objects have got a name, no matter where you go, it's got a name. The name of our weapons, everything, you know, like... And all our boomerangs have got a name. We've got a Marley for our boomerang. Returning boomerang is a yarrange. Spear, our gulia. All our clubs, you know, we've got a common names which is known universally as bundi and nulla nullas, but we got kujaroo for our nulla nulla, and a bundi, we got a punti, a shield, we got a bulgu, coolaman, bark, we call tungan or gulaman. So there's lots of names that we know and we can relate to all of these objects, and it's important with that language. You can connect straight away to all these things. I try to use it as much as I can now with the artefacts. I don't call it spear or boomerang. I'll say the English word second, you know, because that's what it is. That's what it's known as. So hopefully when people hear me talking, that's what I'll use. We get to know these different language names. We can talk to our people in that and say, you know, like, and it's better late than never, I believe. A lot of our elders, Murawari elders in some of our communities, I think they've missed out on so much, and I think it's important that they need to hear some of these words. My daughter, her mother taught her when she was a young age in the Yuwalari Gamilaroi language, and so she sings in the language now today. And so I think it's important too that music's involved with our languages, because you sing in language and it's empowering then, you know, more empowering, so it's very important.
Winningalana. Ngenanga ubala ngeni Winningalana. So that's Yamananga.
You've got to go out and you've got to have that time. You've got to go right up onto walk right onto it to see what you want to take. You need time on your hands. You know, our old people had time on their hands because they were looked upon as master craftsmen in their own right, you know, because to carve those weapons from those timbers, our hardwood timbers, the hardest timbers in the world, it's really mind-boggling, to be honest, you know, because it's not easy. It's hard even with modern tools. So for them to be going to do that with their stone tools and that, it's really unbelievable. Even making them today, it's very time consuming. A lot of work goes into them, you know, even with the modern tools. Very monotonous and repetition, you know, so you've got to go out and spend the day going out to cut it or harvest, and then so the next day then you got to break it down. Then the next day you're cutting out, shaping, and then sanding. So there's all of that, and then finish fine sanding right at the end. So there's about 5 or 6 steps there. There's a lot of steps there. So after you get experience to being a craftsman, you're an artist, painter, or whatever, you know, or whatever you're doing, it takes practice. So if you put in the hard work and practice, you get good at it. So you become skilled. You get to know it, and you get to know the way the timber works, because with our hardwood timbers, there's so many obstacles also along the way. Even though they're so hard, in our extreme heat, they can buckle, bend, crack. We have natural joins or cracks. We have knots. We have wood rot. A lot of obstacles along the way, and so finding that perfect timber is not easy. When you're cutting the raw material, you look for those things too before you do cut it and take it. So you get to the heart of the timber where it's the best part. Mulga, we call it Birril. Gidgee, we call it Muraroo. Marley, Yarrange, Gulia, Kujaroo, Punti, Balgu, Gulia, Marley, Tungan, Gulaman, Balgu, Marley, Tungan,